Hello, everybody. Welcome, Martin. Welcome to our show. Hello, Peter.
Hello, folks. Hello, Martin. Nice to have you here on the show
Yes.
today.
Thanks for having time.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me here to your show.
Yeah, of course, it's our honor, our pleasure. How is the
You're-
weather in Switzerland? Snow? No?
Not here. I live in the Midlands.
Okay.
I live on 400 meters, no snow.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Not
Which-
so bad.
Which canton are you in?
Habsburg. I'm 10 kilometers from Habsburg. Canton Aargau. Canton Aargau.
Aargau.
Aargau, okay.
Yeah, we're related, Peter.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Nice.
So, great. So, Martin, could you shortly introduce yourself for the people who don't know you? Where do you come from? Where are you? Where do you want to go? You know, a little bit of you. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, my name is Martin Spörri. I'm 43 years old. I'm 5 years into archery. I love archery tech. I love speed archery. And that's it.
5 years ago. So, and you started directly with draw technique or with bow? Which equipment did you start?
Yes, I started 6 years ago. My daughter say, Daddy, I saw Hunger Games. Please buy me a bow. I said, a bow, okay, because my mother already shoot, but I never take her bow to shoot. Because in the military, in the Swiss military, I was shooting with the rifle, and the boss came and said, Martin, you don't hit anyone. So for me, my shooting career was over since 20 years. And then my daughter say, yeah, I want a bow. I buy her a bow, recurve for children, 15 pounds, also 15. And she shot 6 arrows, and then she throw the bow away and jump after the grasshopper.
Okay.
And I took the bow, take one arrow, shoot it in the air, and I thought, whoa, that power, crazy. And 2 or 3 months later, I buy a secondhand PSC Coyote, 50 pounds. And I liked it really. But I see YouTube videos and saw other guys shooting horsebow, and yeah, 3 or 4 months later, it was November 2015. I bought a Samick SKB. I shot a little bit during the winter. Then this SKB was broken, not really broken. You know what I mean?
Laminated?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Then I go to the shop, say, hey, maybe it's a guarantee case. And they say, yeah, but this is a bullshit bow. Take a Kaya Windfighter.
Yeah.
And I was not happy. I didn't like the look of the bow. It was too filigrane, and that this bow breaks.
I like them. I like them.
Yeah, me too now. Me too now.
Nicely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's a toy because it weighs nothing and it's so thin. You think it's crap, but also
cool.
Yeah.
Like a toy bow. So cool.
Yeah. And the Windfighter was 15 pounds, and the SKB is 60 pounds, and I shot through a chrono, and the Windfighter was much faster than the SKB. So from that day, I loved Kaya.
Yeah, I love it too. And they have a very good price and very high quality bows.
Yeah,
I really like them.
Did you start in 3-finger draw and switch then to thumb release or Slavic, or how was the development?
Yeah, I start to do what I feel the best for me, and I start with 2 under.
Okay.
And I didn't know this already exists. One day, me and Cosma show a picture when the thumb hurts, and I say, and Persian draw, and I look and say, huh? I should the same. What is the name? Persian draw, Slavic draw. Then, okay, but I make.
Wow! There's a way how my thumb could be hurt. Oh, I have to do this.
Maybe. And I shoot like this, and then this guy, RT Dragon, I don't know, this is a US guy, my English. He
Tells
invests.
you that the Slavic draw, the arrow needs to be on the inside of the bow, not on the outside. Right?
Sorry?
He tells you that you can't have the arrow on the outside and shoot Slavic, like we shoot thumb release. You need to have the arrow on the other side, because he researched that, and his proof are the modern Bhutanese archers. They shoot compound bows very short, and then they draw 3 fingers. They get a finger pinch, obviously, from the string angle. So they then, when they reach full draw, they spread the index finger out, and they have the arrow on the left side. And it was his proof that the arrow needs to be on the inside of the bow, not on the other.
Yeah.
But Mihai and everybody else shoots with the arrow on the outside.
Yeah, I make then a slow-mo video and show them the arrow is straight, and I say, only 1 or 2 times, but to be honest, every 10 shot it's not straight, but the most arrows are straight. Yeah.
But even if you shoot sloppy 3 fingers, your arrows will not be straight.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm completely not able to shoot Mediterranean. Also, when the guys say, "Hey, here's my bow, please shoot Mediterranean," I say, "Oh no, thank you."
I'm kind of jealous about the problems all your Asiatic guy has with the arrow on the left, on the right, and this and this and
It's simply that people have something to discuss. I mean, this Right Dragon, he does a lot of research, and I give it to him. He did a lot of good stuff. I like what he's doing, but then he started telling me that I do it wrong. The arrow needs to be on the inside. But imagine you shoot now, Peter, you shoot 3-finger draw, and instead of having your 3rd finger above the arrow, you have this finger aligned on the side of the arrow. What could possibly happen if you press a little? The arrow will fall off the shelf.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think, for me personally, doesn't make much sense to have the arrow on the left and shoot Slavic with this finger straight, because this makes only sense when the arrow is on the outside of the bow and you hold the arrow on the bow with this finger. Then you can move around. Then it's a static thing.
You know, we longbow guys don't have these problems.
Oh, we
know how it works since thousands and thousands of years. And
even Shadiversity had this idea that they can even shoot an arrow on the outside with 3 fingers with this cradle draw. So
of course,
go home with your modern stuff here. We need to be careful. No hate speech and nothing. You know, I deleted already a video, so we need to be careful today. Let's be kind. Let's be gentle.
Because we made fun about the zombie apocalypse.
Yes. And it was a medical misinformation we spread. I'm not a doctor, so I have no idea, but it's fine.
You know, when I like to get some medical information, I always go to the channel of an archery guy and get the medical news. How crazy is that? How crazy is that?
Incredible.
Yeah, only for our viewers, because last time we asked Bo Krause that he can join our podcast. He unfortunately didn't get in contact with me. Did he get in contact with you, Peter?
No.
So we will not have him at the podcast.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, we would like to have him, but what can we do? No, it's okay. Only it was a side topic now that we have this out of the way. Great.
Maybe he's in jail or something.
He will come one day, then everybody make peace.
Most probably. So, and then you started, and how did you get this idea of speed shooting? So you did archery tag or combat archery or whatever they name it. And how did you have this idea that you need to hold now so many arrows in your hand and shoot them very fast? Where did this idea come from?
I watch YouTube and I see other guys doing this, and that
Lars, Mihai.
Yeah, and in the Lars video they say, you must train every day for hours, more than 10 years. And that time, no, I train once in the week. I have not more time.
Yeah.
I'm alleinerziehend in English.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
You take care of your kid alone,
Yeah. And I live in a block in the middle of the city. I have no place to go shoot. I can shoot once in once in a week.
Mhm.
I saw other YouTube videos and try for myself what is the simplest technique. And I don't know which other hold the arrows, but I see now I want to jump and run with much arrows in the hand, and I don't want that fall off. So I have to hold them. Sorry.
Show us, it's okay, no worries.
Yeah, I hold them like that, and this is really tight. I see other people hold it like this, but
yeah, when you wobble it.
yeah, and
so you have the index finger above, you have in between index and middle finger, and you have the knocks relatively far back.
Yeah, also
hold them and show the inside of the hand.
Like this.
Yeah, show us. Where do you have the knocks? Back there, okay.
Here. You can close it like here, but when you have too much, it's not so possible. Then
you grab of course the bow, the string runs back and knocks automatically.
Sorry, I don't understand.
No, then you knock automatically. I see.
Yeah, like this. I come here, glide over this thing there.
Yeah.
So one is going. Prepare the next one. Going like this. And I feel very comfortable like this.
Yeah.
Because you can move around and
of course.
Jumping in the air, make a 180, jump from left to the left to the right, yeah. The last one, and you can close here to be much faster, but this is enough. And the knocks are not too much open.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, and I don't know. I see other tutorials, and I see the other people shoot not like this, and. But for me, it's the best way. You must try it.
Whatever works for you, of course.
Whatever works.
There are so many ways, and I guess
Yeah.
even the literature, we had this often. What was written in books was sometimes not more than propaganda, and you never know exactly what was true and what was not true. That's why find the way which works for you, and when you feel comfortable, you can shoot fast and safe. I mean, perfect.
Yeah, and this two-fletched is like indicator where the knock is. The knock is 90 degrees, so I always know here's the string. And I was on the horseback archery event in Swartz and Visp this year, Swiss Championship, and I talk with the riders, and they shoot me. I cost my knocks. The feathers are here, and they have matches, also Zündhölzchen. They stick it here.
Yeah.
So left on the right.
Index, they know how to grab the arrow.
Yeah, and they were not really happy with this method. They say arrows doesn't fly good, and I say, do you know any aircraft company who put stick matches around? the airboats fly not perfect, and in winter time we want to train together, but now I have a little bit pain here since 2 months. Something like a tennis arm, I don't know. It's not, I still can shoot my 60-pound bow, but it's from pull out the arrows. One day I pull out very hard the arrow, and since then I have little pain.
But you know that when you shoot right-handed, you should pull out the arrows with the left hand. Balances your muscles a bit. Yeah,
people told me stop, pull out with this hand.
Exactly.
What kind of arrow stop do you have?
Very cheap. I get it for free from a friend who stopped archery. It's I have 11 targets. They are good, but it's a no name brand. I don't know.
But best for these are that foam type. They are easy to draw. That foam type about 12 centimeters or 15, 80 by 80 centimeters. I think they cost about 180 to 100 euros. These are nice targets in my opinion. And what I always do, I'm making myself 3 targets, smaller 3 targets, so I don't shoot always in the middle of the target, so they last a long time. So because I'm always dividing the shooting.
Yes, and you don't split the arrows so often.
And it's a better training, because if you use 3 dots for targets for 3 arrows, let's say, then you always change your spot. And you train your brain faster, in my opinion.
Makes sense.
And you don't get used to the target, because it's always another point.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Speed
And-
shooting in a triangle.
Yeah. And what distance do you shoot now, speed shooting?
Yeah, in my little range up in the hill, it's actually 12 meter. I
Mhm.
have another one for 18 meter.
Mhm.
And in the past, I try out 50, 60, 80 meter.
Mhm.
But in the combat archery tack,
Mhm.
which we play with 50-pound bows.
50 pounds.
Yeah, my bow is 50 pounds.
And
Yes, I know.
you know that the limit should be
Nice.
30 pounds.
We wrap the arrows. This is
Okay.
wrapping. That's when it's broken. It's a little bit.
Yeah, but the impact power with a 50-pound bow is
Yeah.
quite something.
Cool, cool.
We had on the
Yeah.
weekend a bachelor party here, and at the end, the instructor gave out the safety arrows, and everybody could shoot the how do you call it, stack, who get married. And one of my guys had his Grosjean 45-pound bow, and they shot him all in the lower part, and you could see that this arrow was really bam, and it really hurt. So it's,
I know. We
But-
know that.
But
Yes.
but you know, Armin, it's a very dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Because many brands, many products of these foam
Yeah.
tips are not good, well made.
I have
So
good
the
ones.
arrow can come through.
I have good ones. They have this plastic, and then there's this foam on
Yeah,
it. So there's, even if this foam comes off, there's like a plastic fist, so it's fine.
The safest one, that one I have with this hover ball,
Yeah,
whereas
you can screw the
a-
top on, yeah.
a big round plastic with a big how is it called,
Thread?
Is it
screw with a big
Thread,
screw, yeah.
the thread,
yeah.
you can screw that.
And these are like that, and you screw it on,
Yeah.
and this, if the foam comes off, it's still a relatively harmless
Okay.
arrow because
I
it's
know this one, but the screw once in the final of a battle, the screw fall out, and everybody says stop. And
you have to rescrew it sometimes.
yeah,
So,
that's true. And yeah.
But maybe
Yeah.
you could glue it with some
Mhm.
chewing gum or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
small black rings now. This is
Yeah.
very good. Since
But
2
these are
weeks.
the safest arrows, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
other-
use this Bayer Labköpfe.
Yeah,
This-
I
I
know.
know them.
Yeah.
German.
I had them.
Yeah.
I hate them
And-
all, but not so
and-
thread.
And that hoverball arrows also have special safety knocks.
Yeah, nice round.
They're
Yeah.
So even
big-
let's see
Big
otherwise.
and rounded.
Yeah. I like them.
Yeah.
But this is like shooting knockless. My friend shooting those knockless.
Mhm.
Mhm,
It's so
mhm.
hard to.
Yeah,
yeah.
for speed, maybe they are not the. But on the other hand, you have a good grasp on them.
Yeah, you
And
you
not
can grab
to-
them. You can
not
only
to-
pinch draw when you don't have to do heavy
Yeah,
throws.
yeah.
Intro, yeah.
And
But Armin,
Yeah.
back to your question, why I only shoot 18 meters right now?
because
we
it's
find-
enough for combat.
Sorry?
Because it's enough for archery tech.
We found out that
Yeah.
if you are more distance than 20 meter, you hit nothing.
You see the arrow coming, you
You
can
see the
dodge
arrow,
easily, exactly,
wipe
of
out,
course. Yeah,
And
that's
we
it.
have so young players, they
Yeah.
are so quick. One is a keeper in a football team. He's so
Mhm.
quick. I never hit him.
Yeah.
He always hit me this year.
And you see, that's what I often say is when we discuss historic battles or
Yeah,
warfare archery.
Yeah.
So the long distance shots, if it's not the kind of mass fire
Yeah.
making chaos
Mhm.
the other troop, that's okay. But if you shoot tactically,
Mhm.
it's not more than 30. Should be with a
Yeah.
110-pound war ball, 60 meters, but then it's over.
Yeah. And you give your arrow to your opponent. So
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
waste an
yeah,
arrow if
yeah.
you shoot them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the other hand, one could say when these knights, these warriors were in battle, I'm talking about the medieval Western knights,
Yeah.
they are in action in fights in combat with other knights. So they can't look around if an arrow is coming in. So that's
Mhm.
also true.
Yeah.
Because if you're fencing
Mhm.
with another guy,
Yeah,
you
of
can't
course.
look around and look for incoming arrows. So
Don't have this time.
these are these guys had two enemies, so to say.
Yeah.
One opponent and maybe a sniper who shots in from the side
Yeah.
into the battlefield,
Yeah.
and that's not too far in, because
Yeah, but I think when he's already in a sword fight, that the enemy won't most probably not shoot with the arrow anymore inside this battlefield, because they turn around in a quick twist and then he shoots his own guy. So I don't
Yeah.
think that they would.
Yeah.
but they did.
Friendly fire.
I know it from officially
Yeah.
original
Okay.
diaries of French knights, which were shot at the Agincourt and these famous longbow
Mm.
battles, how they
Yeah.
call them, and they said exactly that.
Okay. No,
That the archers shot into the battle from the flanks. They had a kind of mass fire in the beginning, but
Yeah.
then they go
Yeah.
around the battlefield and shoot inside the battle
yeah,
at particular targets, at
Okay.
open visors, at joints,
Okay.
the armory, and so on.
No good.
Interesting.
They couldn't penetrate the armory, but and you know, if you're able to, you have your visor open, of course, because it's for sure it's horrible to fight with this. You can't see anything, and
But that's why you have your visor, that you have it closed when you go to battle.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's
Yeah,
like I
but
drive
for-
with my bike, I have a visor and I put it up and then all
But-
flies bang,
but-
bang, bang, bang. So I put
but
my
I
visor
think,
down when
but
I'm
I
attacking.
think they had the visor for 99% because of the arrows and not because of the sword
So
strokes.
for the sword, you can always.
Yeah, because you have a helmet like that, the sword can't hit your face or so. So it's
Of course, yeah, mostly.
We have also helmets
Of course, yeah, yeah.
in the
yeah,
battle,
yeah.
and some
Yeah.
people say, I see nothing with this mask, and
That doesn't help, yeah.
yeah.
In the beginning, I did here in Malta always, we called it combat archery without mask, without glasses. It
Yeah,
was fine because the safety arrows are big enough, even if they hit an eye, they don't
Yeah.
deform it because
Yeah.
it's big enough. But
Yeah.
of course, people always said, oh, you need to wear safety protection. Then we started getting glasses and this mouth with face protection optional, but the glasses are mandatory. So you need to wear the safety glasses, goggles, and if you want, you can wear the face mask. Looks fancy then, of course, but it's fine. So we have to do something.
yeah.
But
In the
now in
first
COVID times, of course, you have the problem. One group finished shooting, they're sweaty, so you can't give this directly out. So you need to sanitize it now, and a lot of hassle for nothing. Good that I don't have this business anymore.
well, that's nice. Yeah.
You need to consider all these things. Now, my question was simply because I was asked from America. There is a board. It's called the World Fastest Archer. They
Yeah.
made already one with the world fastest drummer.
Yeah.
They found someone who did the regulation, what it means to be a fast drummer. You know, okay, or dum, dum, dum,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And they asked me if I could get a reglement for this, what it means to be the fastest archer. Because we know, like Jeff Ossipi, they can
Yeah.
shoot 5 arrows knockless in 1 second.
Yeah,
But I don't know what distance he is shooting and how accurate he is shooting. And for me,
Yeah.
it's only the speed, so you need to be at certain distances. The target needs to have a certain size and the speed and the penetration power. And I tried to get this in a reglement. And I asked Mihai and Lars. They first said they will give me their input, but I didn't get anything. And I have another one, Mark and Mac, the martial archery guy. They wrote me then this long, so I need to
yeah, I know.
filter out what works and that we get a reglementation. Maybe you would be willing or have a little time to spare that you could work, that you join this group and we work something out.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Armin, besides all of that technical aspects of what you just said, also think about a kind of a camera regime. So you can say you have to film it at least with 2 cameras.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
For example, 1 target cam, 1 showing you.
Yeah.
And you
even
have
even like Mac did, he had a swinging punching bag in the background. So if you would speed up now the video, you will see the punching bag moving faster. Something like this that you, of course, you make sure.
A kind of pendulum or something.
Yeah, exactly. That you see that it's really the.
That's
real
true.
speed.
Female dancer in the background.
Huh?
Yeah. yeah, female dancers. Yeah.
But they could dance slower, you know, or faster. But you know what? It's that we simply get a reglementation done, and then people can participate and even first standing and shooting targets, and of course even running, jumping, and whatever, and shooting targets. And then you need to see, okay, 10 meters. I would say whatever, let's say a 6-inch target, at 20 meter, maybe a 9-inch target, and at 30 meter, whatever inch target.
But is it about is it about speed or about hitting a target?
Speed. For me, speed, it doesn't mean anything when you don't hit anything. So you can be the fastest archer of the world when you can't hit anything in 2 meters. It doesn't mean anything.
But you know what? I believe if you're able to shoot very fast, then it's kind of impossible not to hit, because you have to make such exact, precise movements every time you're shooting. So you are you're well trained, and you will shoot at the same spot, I guess.
If it's fine by me when they can do it, then it's fine. Then we can make the target smaller on 10 meters. I mean, we shoot here on 10 meters or whatever, 2.5 or 3-inch size target. This is for us a center shot. And we don't shoot ring targets, you know, because
you could say if there are female dancers in the background, the target can be a little bigger.
I know which target. Peter, it sounds curious, but when you speed shoot, sometimes you are accurater than when you shoot slowly.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't know
because
why.
Because you're so well trained to do the same movement every time and repeat it. So
then even on 20 meters and 30 meters, most speed archers shoot only, I don't know, I mean, even Mihai said that on 30 meters, his target size is, I think, already 50 centimeters or something. So it's kind of like chest size of a human on 30 meters. And then he all over
and they have no rings, they just have to hit the target. Of course.
Doesn't matter. Hit is a hit and a miss is a miss. But there is no 8, 7 or whatever number. So either you hit the target and make it better, a little smaller, to make it a little harder, and then you can have a competition or whatever, you know. And then they need to train not only on 2 meters and shooting their sandbag at home, then they really need to go out and train 20 and 30 meters fast shooting and moving and shooting, because this is a complete different story then. Shooting fast and moving.
Yeah, or speed shooting. Long time I shoot straight, but then I found out, hey, try to shoot left, right, left, because this is another my English. This is another challenge. Holding the arrow that you can.
And this can come or later. We first set the base implementations, and then while moving or like a combat course, when you see the pistol shooters and they have this combat course, bam, 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 and you do the same, and then you need to walk through a course like this and shoot. Of course.
Make a ninja roll.
I think the key to that, what you're saying, Martin, that turning and every position and so on, is you can make it, and it's wonderful, but you have to have the same body position every time, the same. You have to check this, to balance this, to make this exactly with your body. You can't shoot in front of you. Of course you can, and sometimes you will hit, but you always have to do it with your upper body. It's, in my opinion, it's not possible to switch. Okay, you can do it, and maybe you hit the 2 by 2 meter target at 10 meters, no problem. But it's not. You don't have a full draw. It's not a good shot, in my opinion. I don't know how your view is about that.
Yeah, I use for left-right shots. I use the 50-pound pole, but it's not full draw, but it's still enough that the arrow going through. Yeah, and for the competition, video and YouTube is one thing, but when you meet your opponents, so we have a little championship in Switzerland, it's a complete different thing, because archers, they are really good, they are nervous when other people watch them live. This is a completely other thing,
of course.
But it never will happen that we meet us, especially in these crazy days.
Of course. But I mean, this is the thing what Peter always said, you know, doing trick shots at home. But when you stand like Peter on a stage and you have 2,000 people around and you need to do the same trick shot, it's a complete different story. Or what Byron Ferguson said, you know.
you're done. When you have to be able to completely switch your brain off, and your only thought can be, I'm the greatest and I can hit that stuff. Otherwise you're lost. Yeah. And you need a kind of a grain of narcissism.
Yeah.
And you must be cool like Peter.
No, of course. Yeah. You know, on one the cigarette needs to
No,
hang out of the corner.
yeah.
I will shoot that one out.
No, you know, it's like
Last
that.
time- Yeah.
Let me say it. It's like that. You have to be addicted to the love of other people, like a narcissistic person, to get yourself into that situation. To stand in front of 500 or 1,000 or how many people, and risking to fail in front of a lot of people. So your wish to be the biggest and the nicest and the most handsome has to be bigger than the fear from the situation. So it is narcissistic.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure it helps. It helps.
Well, I had 2 live show by the horseback archery Swiss championship and Meister Balleister in Zwoz. Meister Balleister is retronomanisch, is for master of the bow. And Andre Marouk, Swiss champion, said, hey, you must do a show. And I said, I don't know what to do. And the first run, I completely failed. I not even hit the target as I jump in 180. But I was laughing about myself. I said, fuck. Let's do it again. And then it works because I don't care if the people laugh at me or not.
And you know, you have to start this with your friends or with a very nice auditory, with very nice viewers. When I was in South Korea at this festival, every day they had a kind of ceremony from every country.
Yeah.
That group, about 5 or 4 or sometimes 6 shot, and some did from Indonesia. They did more like a dance and shot, and one nationality did that, this and that. And some really couldn't hit the target. You could see they did a nice show, but they couldn't. But every person applauded and said, "Wow, that's great." So you are to a big critic to yourself, because if the auditor is nice, they say, "Wow, it's cool," and
I was speed shooting it there, and I was completely failed. The arrow fell out of my hand, but I don't fucking care.
You need a kind of outfit or a kind of mascot or a kind of, you have to be a split person. In fact, I always say you are 3 persons. You are the one person, you're at home, maybe with your very best friend or your partner. You're a different person when you backstage at the television show or something, and you have to be a 3rd person when you're on stage. And that's a kind of split character.
But you think that Byron Ferguson has that too? I think
no. Byron is an exception. Byron is like
simply like he is. You know Byron Ferguson, Martin?
Yeah. I saw. Yeah.
He's simply how he is.
He's different. He's different. He's 100% like he is.
Yeah. Wherever
he don't needs he don't needs the split personality tactic. He don't needs it. He's just Byron Ferguson.
Interesting.
But interesting would be if he get more secure and safer and more self-confident over the years. Maybe in the beginning he also had maybe his problems to shoot first time in a big hunting show somewhere in another state or so. I could imagine.
I guess he's so self-confident that when he not hit a ring, he doesn't care. He just try a second time.
And he doesn't say that he does it. He always says, "Okay, I tried to hit it."
I
tried to hit the aspirin, which my wife is flipping. I try, and then boom, he shoots it.
Let's see if I can hit that, and that's what he says, and not I'm the greatest.
Exactly. Let's see if I hit it. I mean, even he has something he misses.
For himself, of course, he knows he's the greatest, but he don't says it. He says, "Let's see if we can hit it."
But we heard from him that he lost a little his own confidence because it was too easy for him. He started shooting sloppy because it was always working. So he was simply shooting. I still could hit it. And all of a sudden, it was not working anymore, and he lost confidence. And this is what in his new book will be a part of it, that he had this target panic. He calls it target panic. That he was then really a little. You couldn't imagine that this guy would have target panic ever.
Since Byron Ferguson told us this, I don't dare to say again. Target panic don't exist.
Target panic. Only when you think about that, you need to target panic.
Only if you know about target panic, it exists. If you never heard about it, you can't get it.
But you get it, but you don't know the name for it. That's interesting. Yeah. Great. Tom, what are your plans then for the future in archery?
I don't know. To be honest, I lost a little bit interest in archery last months. And
why? Is this Chinese archery group responsible on Facebook? I just read the post that they blocked you from the group. What did you do?
I should ignore that post because when I see people with masks, I freak out. So
okay.
No, in the future, also we had a combat archery tag championship in Switzerland, and the horsebow archery only for horsebowers. We started this year because Benjamin had this idea because when we compete in 3D archery, we always don't know which group we are, so we say let's do our own let's do our own championship with field shooting, 3D. Flight shooting, aerial target and speed shooting. We have no time this year, and in 2 weeks we have the final. It's dynamic archery, running archery actually, and this is the final. And then,
And is it a kind of club, a kind of society?
We are just Combat Archery Switzerland. They are people. They are from different clubs, but when we come together, we are Combat Archery because we unite in shooting horsebows.
Very good.
Okay.
But the thing is, really all over the place. They come with a reflex or with a horsebow, let's say, and then they don't know where to put it, and they put it into the compound, in the open glass where the compound archers shoot. And then you expect to shoot the same. He shoots with a compound bow on a 3D target.
With the thumb ring, you shot with the compound bow.
When we made these 3D tournaments here in my area, when I was the president of the club, we always had that problem because these horsebows were made with fiberglass. And so they shot in the recurve glass. Then we invented a separate horsebow class, but
it's rocket science, and even thumb shooters, then they consider the thumb ring a release aid. In my opinion, it's not, but the Archery Federation sees it as a release aid, and they don't allow it. Then, so what can you do then? Shoot a 50-pound bow, 300 arrows a day without any protection.
It works with the tape, but
but still, you're used to a thumb ring, and once you're used to something, you don't want the leather glove or something. So it's. I mean, I'm still not used to thumb ring. That's why I can't tell. I hate thumb rings. But that's a big problem. And I always tell people simply make your own group, your own club, your own rules, your own championship. Don't rely on this big waterhead above there. They restrict you, and make your own regiment. Make your own, like you do.
And we have only one rule. The rule is horsebow without shelf. Finished. You can use knock point or not. I have no knock point.
What means horsebow? Even a Yumi, Japanese Yumi is a horsebow.
Yes. For me, it's okay.
Okay.
And look, we once made a kind of experiment. We said we don't separate the classes with the bow type, but with the arrow, wooden arrow.
Yes. Okay.
Or aluminum or The
You
good
can shoot.
archers, the good archers were the good archers, and the bad archers were the bad archers.
Yeah.
No matter how you separate the
That's
groups.
also true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I shoot carbon arrow. I don't want to try something new.
No,
Like
it's not.
wooden, or maybe next year I want to try bamboo. Yeah.
Yeah, for heavy poundage is fine. And good bamboo arrow is something nice.
Yeah. It's.
I think
feels nice in the hand.
well-made bamboo arrows. I think they're great.
Yeah.
And I have these ones here, these nodeless ones, this Tonkin bamboo. They get up to 36 inches without nodes. They look like a carbon arrow. It's wow. And they fly just awesome. They are amazing. You don't even see that it's bamboo. You could think it's one of these, retro-made carbon arrow with some sticker on it. Really great.
I have, but without sticker. I start to import Kaya bows to Europe.
Okay.
Must give me your address. I send you one. The Black K is the newest model.
So which one?
Black K.
Black K. I don't know. I'm with Kaya. I'm not so. I have.
I send you one. You must tell me which poundage you want. And I have. Wait a minute.
Oh wait.
Oh, where do you go? No, Peter is going. See,
These are
Peter is born now. Peter is leaving.
No problem.
Yeah, they are.
It will come back without printing on it. Yeah. Import them also as well. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, of course. Carbon arrow is right now the way to go for me too. It's only when you shoot like a Manchu bow, with the 36-inch draw, and you need to have 15 grain per pound arrow weight, and you shoot whatever a 60-pound Manchu, then you really need a heavy arrow.
Okay.
And getting this in carbon, then you get these big inserts and big tips, and then the arrow really is head heavy, and then it's not really working anymore. For this, a bamboo arrow is way more balanced.
And I love speed. I love so much speed. Where the arrow goes like.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
You want to shoot a Manchu bow. What country? Oh, Switzerland.
Look, Martin.
Switzerland crew.
Swiss archery team.
Swiss archery team.
Burn it.
Nice.
I order now a cap from Ted Nugent, try it, come and take it. Ted Nugent is
I made a fun with this cap because of this Swiss archery team. I put an artificial apple on the top of the head and said that's the Swiss archery team's club head with the apple.
This was the past. Now we have to shoot the apple in the air and hit it.
Yeah.
Flying target.
Yeah.
And you never spring-loaded. Bring.
And before you never were interested in crossbows or bows or so.
No way. Because I was in the military, I didn't hit the target, and with this only watching the target, shooting 1,000 arrows, I found out. Oh, I could mithalten. Yeah.
When I was a little boy, I had the same. I thought I made myself bows out of hazelnut, and like we all did, and I was so embarrassed. I thought all this in the movies is fake. You never can hit anything with this shit, and in no way you can kill someone with this shit.
Sorry. I remember I was make also hazelnut bow. I have a picture which I already hold the arrow Slavic. But my grandmother always told me, don't shoot arrows. My mother has an arrow in the eye. Don't touch bow and arrows. It was like, oh, okay, finish. And I started archery with 37 years, and yeah.
But your daughter stopped shooting. She doesn't shoot anymore.
No, so sad. I try everything. I make purple feathers.
Oh, cute.
I paint the bow purple. I do everything.
Hello, Kitty bow.
And now she's only on black. She's 16 years old now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I have no chance.
Then a normal snake bow should do the job.
Yes, I have no chance, but she
Yeah.
might make me an archer because he want to go. And,
Great. See,
yeah, yeah,
never have thought about that. See,
yeah. When did you start shooting,
Peter.
Peter? Yes, Peter
No,
first.
Peter or me?
I started in 1990 with a
Yeah,
compound bow,
yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
but I shot it bare bow without sights, like a traditional bow, so to say.
Yeah.
I started
Then I
in-
switched to recurve bow, to a bare Kodiak recurve,
Mhm.
and then to a longbow, a Ben Pearson model. It was not the best longbow, but it was a longbow.
Mm.
Then I had to have an English longbow because of Saxton Pope.
Mhm.
And then I found out about the Howard Hill style bows, and then I stayed with the Howard Hill style bows.
And now it's 2021. You talk with me. You will start Korean archery.
No, he has
Yeah.
a fire, but he
yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Ah.
I have one Kaya
Okay.
bow. It's
Okay,
a nice
cool.
bow.
but with
Yeah.
thumb release, or it's simply not his way of shooting.
No, I show it to
Me
my
either.
clients. I
Yeah.
show it one time, one shot, and they shoot like that, and it's different. And so,
Mhm.
but never try it. I said never try it.
Mhm.
No, you can't confuse them. You making one demonstration to show, okay,
Mm.
that's also another way to shoot the bow and arrow, but
Yeah.
I give you a different lesson
Mhm.
today.
Yeah, we had last time at the archery range a big group, and I don't know where they came from. And of course, we always teach 3-finger, split finger, Mediterranean draw. And there was one guy, he couldn't rotate his wrist. So his wrist was like this. He
Mhm.
couldn't rotate it because of some damage. And then the instructor said, oh, listen, you simply learn directly thumb release.
Mhm.
Then the others, hey, you have the arrow on the wrong side. I said, no, no, it's okay. He learned a different way directly because he can't turn his wrist.
Do you
Yes.
really can switch from Mediterranean to thumb? Do you
Yes,
can switch?
yes.
I can't. I can't.
I do it in my videos like I did now. There's a new snake bow out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that, Peter. The snake 50. 50-inch long. It's a little longer than the junior snake, has 20
Yeah.
pound at 26 or something, but you can draw this thing 29 inches and then it has almost 25 pounds. Such a fun shooter. On Thursday, the video will be up. And with this one, I shot 3 fingers and then I shot thumb release there.
I think even with this smallest snake bows, you
Yeah.
could shoot 28-inch.
Yeah, but it's hard. Then you see already
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it
yeah.
gets to reach the limit.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
this one,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it just feels nice. It's 2 inches longer than the old version, but works so much nicer. It's really
Yeah.
and 20 pounds. So it's a little nice. It's a nice bow.
You know, I think if you're an experienced archer for many years, I also hit a little with this thumb draw when I'm showing it to the client. Sometimes better, sometimes not so good. But if you have a feeling for the bow, I think you can switch.
Yeah, for me, the only thing is when I switch then to Slavic. Sometimes I try simply fast. Can you do fast shooting with this? And then the arrows go a little further to the right.
Okay.
And then but it takes 2 shots, and then I know what the bow or how it is, and then it works again. So this is the only thing. But between 3 fingers and thumb, there is for me no difference. But when
I can
it's
easily
Slavic, then
switch.
there was a little further off. So I need to adapt to it.
Yeah.
But I don't shoot Slavic that often, or Persian draw, or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, can easily switch between Slavic and thumb,
Mm-hmm.
but Mediterranean. Okay, I never tried since 5 years.
Yeah, it's
To
okay.
be honest.
It's fine.
And
Yeah.
what brand of arrows do you use, Martin?
Incognito. Also, this is the Incognito arrow, Como line. We have, wait a minute. We have those Incognito white line.
Mhm.
We import that for our combat archery archers. Yeah, it's actually our own brand.
These are 5/16 of an inch shafts, no?
Yeah, they're carbon. What material are they?
Pure carbon.
Pure carbon. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and those are the 500 and 600 are 9 32-inch. Say it right? 7,2 Millimeter.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay.
and the 400 spine is 1964, 7,5 Millimeter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Der Außendurchmesser, die Autodiameter.
Yeah, outer diameter.
The inner one is always the same, right?
Yeah, 6.2.
Yeah, 6.2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you never had problems that they splinter or break or something?
No. They're same good as all other arrows. Of course, if you shot through a wall, then they break. Yeah.
Okay. Because others use still fiberglass or something, I don't know.
No. Fiberglass and mixed carbon arrows are dangerous, and I will never touch them. They are also heavy and yeah.
Sorry, talk, Martin, talk.
When I sent you the black K, I sent you some of those white lines. Can you test them also?
I test them.
Yeah, I don't know. I have only 46-inch at the moment here, a small Kayas. Do you want a bigger one? A 50?
I shoot every Kaya. Normally I have a medium range where I can at least throw 31.5 inches.
Okay.
The 46 one you can throw 30 inches, I guess, right?
Sorry?
What's the max draw for short one?
Windfighter is 50-inch, and I can show you the difference. This is 50-inch. It's the Windfighter.
Yeah.
And this is a 46-inch black K, and that's the difference.
Yeah, okay, then you can throw 30.
No problem. Okay, you bend it to the max.
Yeah, you don't draw fully, you have more this snap release.
Only here. Okay. Yeah.
Martin, have you ever tried to spine test that carbon arrows? Because Byron told us last time they're different like wooden arrows. Yeah. And what is your experience with their spine? How many differences in?
Yeah, it's incredible. Those white one, almost zero.
Yeah.
Almost zero.
Wow.
Yeah. The carbon, this one not so good, 0.006. But the white lines, they are incredible straight. Yeah.
Not the straight, the spine, not the straightness.
The spine is always the same. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
You even if you turn it.
Yeah. Yes. You must turn it to see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And because we have some carbon shafts are really, they are supposed to have spine of 400, and when you measure them, you have from 350 to 450 everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you really need to see that even with carbon arrows, you get a matching set. Like with wood arrows, you have whatever 100 shafts, and you get 1,000 matching shafts, and with carbon shafts it's the same.
Yeah, they are not. I order a camouflage shafts in 600. They are not. Everyone is 630, but not 600. But everyone is the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it depends also on the spine tester. Maybe at that spine tester it's 600, so that's okay.
Can be, as long as they're the same, it's fine again.
Yeah.
Reliable, it's fine. Cool. Which spine tester do you have? Homemade or both?
I don't know really.
He does nothing of this stuff. It's not the Perco one.
In RAM products, carbon QC arrow spine tester.
Looks good.
Looks good.
I hear nothing.
Looks good. It's fine. I think
looks good.
Yeah.
It's analog, not digital, so it's fine.
And what size of fletch are you using? Are you
5-inch? 5-inch, because I have 31-inch arrow, and 4-inch just doesn't look.
Yeah.
I don't look on the working. I look more on the look. It must look good.
Of course.
But 4-inch works also well. Maybe with 4-inch I can hold more in the hands. It's probably better, but yeah.
But you put them a little further away from the knob, right? That you have a bit more. No, not really.
Not too far, no.
No.
Normal. Yeah.
And you glue them on with super glue or with tape?
No. I use tape.
Okay.
You see, they are very fucked up because I love the speed shooting. This is a really minus.
I understand.
Yeah. And you can take them away.
Okay, it's way better than glue. In this case, I'd say,
Yeah, faster, and I don't like dirty hands when
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. And you put them on a little set off or helix?
Yeah,
Or?
just small. I just try out with a big draw, and I come
Mhm.
back. I'm almost straight, but not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I use left wing feathers because
Mhm.
I'm a right hand shooter, and when I come back, the
Yeah. They
Must
are
be-
warp. They
yeah.
warp in the right direction.
yeah,
Mhm.
they
Yeah,
come
yeah.
down and they
Yeah.
come here.
They are not on the stiff side, no,
Mhm.
on the weak side.
You have the thing on the soft side, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Makes sense. Well, quite some, in 5
Interesting.
years. You grew up.
Yeah, in the year 2000. Yeah, in the year 2070, I was so addicted to archery. I do all this in those days, and yeah, I have not yet every year so much passion, but in 2070, I was shot a lot, learn a lot, and since then I'm on the same level.
And what happened that you lost now a little your passion?
I love hiking, so much hiking. When the sun shine, I go to the mountains
Hiking,
and
okay.
and walking and
Okay.
be alone in the nature. This is my favorite sport. Can I say that? Yeah.
And take a bow with you and do roving. You know,
Yeah,
with
sometimes.
the-
Yeah, sometimes I have the bow with me, and I build now a target because the target is so heavy to go uphill.
No, roving. You don't know the principle of roving with these, with this judo heads on it.
Judo heads. You
And
can
then
shoot
see
it
somewhere a leaf in the grass, and okay, I shoot the leaf. Poof.
every meadow, every rotten stump, and so on. You can shoot it.
Yeah, there's no tree over 1,800 meters.
Oh, only rocks.
Only stones, felsen.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, as a cheaper substitute, we used rubber plants.
Yes, I have. I never try, but I have here.
Try them. They're nice shooting at
okay.
meadow or so, like with the judo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when he's too high up, he has only rocks and stones, so there's nothing left.
Yeah, and you
And
must
you
hit
need
the
to wait
target.
until you see the games. How do you call it? Or something.
We'll never shot. Maybe when I'm hungry. No, we'll never shot.
So take a 22 pistol with you, and it's more fun.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So that's why you go more hiking than instead of shooting bow and arrow.
Yeah. No. Some days you like shooting, and sometimes you go hiking.
But you said you lost your passion a little. You are not so into it anymore.
It comes up and down.
Okay.
In August, September this year, I was so much. In summer, I have holidays. I was shooting a lot. Then you go to the work, and you find not even time to shoot.
What is your profession, if I may ask?
I'm self-employed in promotion, and I start also making this, selling these bows, and making the arrows. I do it here. I get pair shafts. The customer says, 112 with yellow feathers, and I'll ask me for speed shooting arrows. And this, I came home from work, and then I must work 2-3 hours on arrows. Less free time at the moment.
I understand.
My girlfriend is pregnant.
Oh, congratulations!
Great.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It happened when you were home, or when I'm joking.
Sorry?
I'm joking.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
She started also Korean archery, also with the Korean bow, but Slavic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Slavic and top, yeah. Yeah.
So you built up something nice in Switzerland, selling KTP bows. The only thing about KTP bows or other Korean bows too?
Only Kaya bows.
Kaya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever it's really true. Whenever a person asks me about a kind of horse bow or something in that direction, I always say, to me, Kaya is the best.
Yeah, really.
With the price and with
the price,
with the performance and how very well made.
Yeah. I sold 200 bows already, and I have only 5 guarantee cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good.
In most cases, these rubber bridge fell off. Then I reglued it with
Yeah.
super glue, and then
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But they lost the laminator. How you say, Armin?
Delamination. Yeah.
Delamination. Yeah,
But
that was
happens
the
with
problem.
wrong stringing. This is they string it wrong, or they
Yeah, and-
overthrow the bow.
Yeah.
Because usually when you treat this bow properly, there's no problem with them.
Yeah.
They are
And
of
you
course
know-
mass production, but they are so well mass produced that it's not a problem.
and
But if they overthrow it or shoot too lightweight arrows when it's a heavy bow and you shoot too lightweight arrows, but with a Korean bow you can go down to 6 grain per pound. It's not a problem.
Less, 5, 4.
Yeah, but then it's already.
I know.
Get in this area of dry firing, and then of course you can get delamination. And when you string it with a step-through method and twist the lins a few times, then you can have these problems. But
But when I would be a dealer, I would recommend to my customer they should let it strung, because 99% of the damage comes from wrong stringing and so on. And the bow will not. I let mine always strung most of the time. This Kaya.
Yeah, but the
I
thing
let them
is,
strong also.
but the thing is, you can't run around with a strung bow, or you need to put them then in a bag or something that you don't see it.
That little bow, there's a small bag, no problem.
Yeah.
People doesn't know what it is. What is this? Yeah.
A violin.
Yeah,
Should
violin,
get-
exactly.
Like El Capone.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Great.
No, I guess it's the damages was the wood, and I always say my customer it's happened only with bows 50 pounds and above too. Kaya has 75 pounds, and when it happens in the first 2 weeks. And when I always told them, when the bow still shot after 2 weeks, you have no problem.
Okay.
Otherwise you have a year guarantee.
And that's a sign that in that case it's really a problem with the wood. And then after 2 weeks they break. And if it's a good bow, it lasts if you don't damage it.
Yeah. And this is still my first bow. This is 5 years old. I still shoot it. It still holds. And
Martin, do you know what kind of wood it is on the sears and in the handle area?
I ask. They say ahorn,
maple,
fiberglass, maple, carbon, maple, and a layer. They doesn't say, it's Betriebsgeheimnis. Yeah.
Another kind of glass.
Special ingredients. Yeah. As long as it works, it's fine.
And they are measured at 28 inch. They were rumors they were measured at 31 inch, but this is not true.
Almost every Korean bow is measured at 31 inches.
No, those are all at 28.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a lot, and I had a lot of Korean bows that all measured at 31 inches. Only the Seigyu from Alibo was measured at 30 inches.
Yeah.
The rest was all 31 inches.
Yeah, I have a 75 pound bow, Kaya, and my friend drove it 210.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
And we measured at 28. They are 75 pounds. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there you need nice heavy arrows with this 75 pounds.
He shot 2 light arrows, but it's.
But the good thing is these Korean bows can shoot lightweight arrows. Yeah. And it doesn't do harm to them.
Yeah.
But of course, 3 and 4 grain is already lightweight.
You know, I don't know if you ever heard about it, Armin. I think back then some suppliers offered hexagonal glued bamboo arrows, like the fly rods are made, with the sections of bamboo. So those must be very heavy and nice arrows, no?
They're not so heavy. I had some when we were in Sylt. We got some. They were a little thinner than the normal bamboo, but they were the small pieces and glued together like a composite or I don't know how you call it, laminated bamboo.
Yeah,
was really nice. They flew great. They're really nice because you get all the dents and things out of it.
Very tough, no?
They are stiff like hell. Yeah, they're really nice. They're very good, and they are lightweight.
Imagine you would have some 1132s, really 9mm diameter of these. This would be nice missiles. I can imagine.
Yeah, there are companies in China. They make these laminated bamboo arrows. So if you're interested in, I can find them and get them to you.
Okay, we aren't allowed to talk about China.
Why not?
Oops. I guess all carbon arrows come
The
out of China.
the C word. Don't say the C word.
No problem.
We can say China. We can say China.
Just
Operation.
just joking.
Hey, they directly deleted this video, no?
Crazy.
I hope they don't confuse carbon with corona or so.
Hey, you never know.
Carbon arrows, no corona arrows. What? Carbon arrows.
And then we made this fun videos where you were the vaccinator. Remember, Peter? Where he built the syringe in front of an arrow, and then we vaccinate the people. You know, but for now, nobody said a word.
That's not medical misinformation. That's the truth.
That's entertaining.
Yeah, that's reality.
No, we only make a comedy. You know, and in comedy you can say everything usually.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, we will put it into the title. The Archer and Bowman, or Bowman, how is it called? Yes, the Archer and the Bowman comedy episode or satire episode. So they couldn't do
satire.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Something like this.
Then you can say everything.
Yeah.
Or we just talk about combat archery tag.
Yeah, okay. Yes, we do. Oh, great.
Interesting. And so in 3D archery, you don't join some tournaments or?
Yes. I joined tournaments with other recurve bowers, and I was only 30 pounds behind the number one.
Okay.
And when we had 2 3D tournaments in our championship in Switzerland, I won the first, and on the second I couldn't teilnehmen challenge. Participate because I was on the sorry my English, because I was at this horsebow tournament. I was behind the Korean shop.
You only exist once. You can't participate in 2 events at the same time.
Yeah. No, we go often 3D. I like 3D. I'm a little bit bored target shooting only in one direction, 10, 20 hours on the same. I must have
it's more fun.
Abwechslung. I like 3D.
Diversion.
Yeah.
Diversity. Diversity of targets. So you have to have one black target, one yellow target, one red target,
one round and
white,
square, one triangle.
One
looks like a banana. So much.
So everything is diverse and nobody's suppressed. All the minorities are also on target.
Yes.
How
you have to look for the minorities.
How do you deal with the regulations that somebody has a hit or not a hit? You know, we have this often, they get a hit or whatever, you scratch the shoulder, no, didn't hit me.
Oh no, we say it's sporty. If you doesn't hit, no points.
You know, I had a good friend of mine. Still have him. It's Theo Schett. He was with me in Idaho, bear hunting and so on. And he joined our 3D tournaments, and he was a kind of, a kind of man's man, of course, a real macho guy, and very not too tall, a little smaller than me. And he had, I think, a 90-pound Howard Hill bow. And the target was a kind of 90-pound at 26 inches. And the target was a kind of pheasant. made a foam 3D, and he exactly shot through the heart and through the whole target.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
And we said,
okay.
"Oh, Theo, that don't count." What? I shot through exactly because it's a real man's bow. It won't count. That's not right. And we, we said no.
Yeah.
If it don't sticks in the target, we can't count it.
Yes.
Shit happened.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
it. Cool.
Yep.
Super. Anything else you want to tell us for archers? Some famous wise words from you?
Yeah, can I greet some guys from Combat Archery Switzerland?
Of course.
Of course. Of course.
Okay, I greet Andre, Matthias, Marian. He's a really good thumb archer. Andreas, Peter, Claudio, Robin, Sven, Tinu, Samuel, Marco, Benjamin, Philip, Roger. I greet everyone. Salute.
But you had to read it off. You don't even know your
Salute.
friends. yeah. Shame
I
on
should have
you.
wear sunglasses.
Salute.
Yeah. From
Martin, is bow hunting is not allowed in Switzerland, no?
No, it's not allowed.
Okay.
And some in Canton Aargau, where I live, in Canton Zurich, it's not even allowed to shoot in the trees.
Okay.
Go with your target to the trees. And, yeah.
Really?
On the trees, or the
Yeah.
trees are afraid or get a shock or right?
I don't know what the rules, but I was in the trees, as in the woods, and the police was coming, and they come and say, "Hello, do you hear someone shot in the woods?" And I asked, "With guns?" "I don't know. We get a call." And I said, "Maybe it's me." "Oh, maybe yes." "What are you doing?" I shoot bow. Can I shoot with you?
Oh yeah, okay.
And I say, yeah, no problem. I give him the bow, my 50-pound bow, and he can't draw, so I give him the children bow from my daughter, and he was so happy. It was two.
Yeah.
And we have a good time, and then they go. They don't not even know the rules.
The rules,
Yeah, nobody knows it actually.
Because one crazy fool called and said, just there's someone shooting.
Yeah. Some senior where you have nothing better to do than call the police.
Yeah. On the other hand, I think in every little village in Switzerland are rifle shooting ranges.
Yeah.
Is it still that the soldiers have their rifles at home?
Yeah, they have the rifles at home, but no no armor or munition.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Back then, one time I was in St. Gallen in Switzerland, and they had it in a kind of tin can, sealed. They had sealed cartridges.
Okay.
This was sealed and closed, so everyone would see if he breaks the tin can, and then but they had it at home.
Okay. I have no one. No. They send me at home.
But are there many accidents or shootings with these government rifles? No.
You mean competition?
No. Accidents or murderers or something.
No, nothing.
Violence, nothing.
No, nothing.
Okay. So it's against opposes the theory that the weapon causes the violence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if every guy has at home a nice assault rifle, and maybe he could buy ammunition in a gun shop. No, I think so.
Yeah.
He could buy matching. Okay. So it's not true that the weapons are causing violence.
No,
absolutely.
Only Epstein killed himself.
Yeah, exactly. Now you see girls with the bicycle have the rifle on the back.
Yes, I love it.
Shooting range
and also not suicides.
No, nothing. No.
Interesting.
It's a little bit disturbing when I shoot on my range in the mountain. They start every Wednesday and Thursday at 7 o'clock. They start to shoot. I'm a little bit. I want to shoot the arrow and I hang bang. Yeah.
But I like it because you always remember. Peace is not a given thing.
Yeah, I know.
You always remember. They are shooting.
Fight for your rights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now in those days.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
No way, hey. When they take everything away from you. I didn't say who or what, or I only said when they take everything away.
In Germany and in Austria, they like to kind of erase the idea of weaponry from the heads of the people, and it's the opposite in Switzerland.
Mm.
They trust the
no,
people.
here also we have left parties who say, oh no, we have to put the rivals away. This is not good when the people have it at home, and try to instigate
But
something.
but if you say there are no incidents with this rifle, so they can't say that it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
No?
yeah. But maybe once in 10 years something happened.
Yeah.
But the reason is not the rifle. The reason is the man who drunk or who lost his business or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
And maybe one thing, I don't know if I can mention that in Norway, nothing happened with bow and arrow, nothing. It was a knife attack. I tell it in the first day, this is nothing. We play combat archery tag, and we hardly hit 2 in one game.
Yeah.
I tell everyone, nothing, stop, don't make it big. Keep it.
Yeah, but it would be a nice thing for getting directly to the bows and arrows too, you know?
As far as if you're talking about that kind of terror thing, as far as I got it, all the fatal things were made with a knife. All the people were stabbed with a knife, and the police arrived without guns because they are unarmed there. Imagine you're a citizen of that state. The state says, I protect you because you're my citizen. And then cops arriving without guns and looking, oh, what can we do? He stabs them. Also, it's crazy. Crazy. So how I got it, all these hurt, these woundings and murders occurred when the police was aware of this guy.
Okay.
Or even on the location. So that's a horrible idea, you know. Then they have to go back and give their signature, and then they handle them a gun, and then he takes the gun and he runs to the place where
the other one killed already 5 more. Yeah, of course.
I'm sorry, I can't understand this. I can't this.
Yeah, they could have at least some rubber bullet guns or something, you know.
Or I don't know, yeah. And if there's one guy with a knife or with a bow, if I have these plexiglass shields and a nice baton, I would beat that guy up till he pisses his trousers. Yeah, I'm sure.
Definitely.
And if there are three policemen or 5 policemen, if they're going against a guy with their shields, he has no chance to do anything.
Yeah.
Question is, do they have this
without shooting? Once I saw a case, I think it was in England, and there was a guy totally mad and crazy with a samurai sword, I think, if I remember well. Yeah. And then the cops arrived, and they also had no guns, and they had the shields, and they pressed him on against the wall of the building, and nothing happened. And then they said that the guy was lucky that he was not in the United States.
Yes, definitely.
No problem. This is a deadly weapon. That's what you are allowed to shoot that guy.
Yeah. Guess it was a machete.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if the police has these shields as a standard equipment.
Yeah, but
they should. The riot police have these. But
they should have it in their cars, I'd say.
Yeah, should.
If I see a guy with just a knife.
Or even a taser would do the job, you know what they have.
Everything. Even a quarter staff, an oak quarter staff.
A broomstick would do the job, and come on.
Yeah.
If longer reach than the knife guy, you kick him a few hours.
Yeah.
Not a big thing. But yeah, this nowadays. It's an interesting society where we live in. Or the drift in this society is quite interesting to see.
should I tell the story about the climate change on the moon?
Yes, please. We need to talk about the moon now. Yes. And then we are done.
Some days ago, I heard something in a podcast that also on moon there's climate change. The temperature of the moon surface went up 2 degrees since 1969.
Ooh.
Because the astronauts they placed kind of measuring devices, so they measured the temperature and maybe seismic activity and so on. So they had the data, I think, up to 1977, and they couldn't find out why the surface of the moon is warming up, because the moon has no fiery core, or is a dead planet, a cold planet, and they couldn't imagine why it happened. So then they had some scientists, they are exploring this data and making, calculations and so on, algorithms and so on. And then they found out in 2018, they found out who is responsible for the climate change on the moon.
Germany.
Guess who? Huh?
Who?
Germany.
No.
Yeah.
They always blame Germany for
It's
everything.
always Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, but they had a bigger view. They said, of course, the humans,
Oh, the
because
Western humans.
only the humans they landed on the moon.
Okay.
So there, I don't know, there were 4 or 5 moon missions, so there were about 12 to 15 persons on the moon. If they were on the moon, there were
Yeah.
okay.
They
So
weren't, but
and
we
because they walked around on the surface of the moon and drove like crazy with their dune buggy, that moon rover. They disturbed the dirt. It's a gray whitish dirt, a special dust on the moon, which reflects the sunlight. And where they are led footprints or drove with that rover, there the surface is darker because the dust is missing there, because the astronauts jumped around on the moon. So what I want to say is, they don't say the sun is responsible, because we just measure it since 1969. Maybe it was 1,000 years, it got warmer and warmer. You don't know. No, the humans are responsible. Like the climate Nazis on Earth, they say, no, you are responsible. Not the sun, not nothing, not everything, but you. And you have to stop to drive your diesels and so on.
Peter, all what the NASA says is true.
Yeah.
The NASA,
Yeah,
Pinocchio NASA.
Yeah.
This word NASA means not a space agency.
that were NASA scientists.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There was a nice story in between, additionally, because they lost all these measurements of the temperature, and then they found out an employee had taken this magnetic, tape back then, where the computers had magnetic tapes at home in his basement. And when this guy died, the inheritance, or how is it called, inheritance, gave these boxes back to the NASA, and then they had the data again, and then they found out. Wow.
Yeah.
So
I only wonder
you can't make that up. So
you can't. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But Greenland name is Greenland because it was green and warm, and now it's no.
Conspiracy.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
Iceland is green and should be full of ice.
Yeah, England has wine, and it was much warmer.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sure, but if you think, if there's really the temperature is rising on Earth, so we get 2 to 3 degrees more heat or more warmth, I think 2/3 of the world are happy with this change, because in Siberia and in Alaska and in Canada and somewhere they would love to have now
Yeah.
everything grows and we can plant tomatoes and
And the forest.
In Siberia, they have instead of -50, almost -48.
Yeah.
It's such a big difference.
yes,
Yes,
and
of course.
and you know, if you grow nothing like the people in Africa, it doesn't matter if it's some degrees less or more.
Yeah. Yeah. And the forests in Siberia, the taiga, they need CO2 to breathe.
Exactly.
Those
Yeah.
forests, they need CO2.
Yeah,
They won't stop us.
Yeah, but we know. Many people know, but yeah, there's an official narrative.
and you know, the first assumption that CO2 is responsible for climate change stems from the one forefather, one granddad or great-great-granddad of Greta Thunberg from Svante Aarhus. He invented the theory that CO2 is responsible for climate warming or climate change.
First is climate change, then is more CO2. Because to make more plants will give us shadow. I don't know, my English is bad.
Yeah.
You know, I did a little more research on that Alec Baldwin case, shooting on the film set.
Yeah.
So the father of the dead camera woman was a Soviet, not a Russian, but a Soviet nuclear U-boat captain. And I don't know how it went on, but she ended up
Epstein Island.
she ended up in the Ukraine and in London. And in London, there were propagandists against now Russia and Putin, because they are Soviet communist people. And Putin isn't a communist. He's not a Soviet kind of state anymore, any longer. You know, so, and she made documentaries about child trafficking and pedophiles to harm Russian oligarchs, friends of Putin. And she worked for the MI6, or her father then worked for the MI6, and she was that kind of documentary filmer who made this. One title is Sex Slave in the Cellar. It's the original title of the documentary she made. Yeah, so I don't believe that it is a kind of agent or Cold War story behind the shooting on film set. But you also can't make this up, because all the shooting on film set is like in a Columbo movie or in a detective movie. You know, there's a murderer on stage and nobody knows who put the bullet into the gun, and very mysterious. It's like a nice detective or crime story. And then behind that, you find out, like in an Agatha Christie movie, and then you find out the person who was shot to death live on film set works for the communists, and her father was a communist U-boat captain, and then they worked for the MI6 and made propaganda against Putin, and so, you know,
that's new to me.
It's true. It's not.
I never heard that before.
It's not a conspiracy. I have seen the newspapers. I have seen everything, and it's hard to don't believe in the kind of conspiracy if you have that many crazy facts. And if she was an agent and I like to kill her, I killed her in a silent lane, not live in front of 70.
But sometimes it has to be, how you call it, eine Hinrichtung. It has to be staged.
Yes, I know.
Because they want to make the statements, and they speak or they communicate through this. They need to show that they do it. And they
of course, that's the argument of the conspiracy theorists.
Yes, of course, they're good in it.
But it's crazy in itself. If there's no conspiracy, if there's no other background than a crazy sloppy guy put in a live round instead of a blank, and how it is, even if it's just like that accident, it's crazy if you do research what is going on with this case.
Great.
Talk, and I can continue then.
Don't talk about
every little piece of shit you dig up. I make a story out of it, the conspiracy, because I can.
Imagine if you're a writer or a movie maker and you make up this story, the film set with the shooting, and one it was a Russian agent, and maybe in the past there was a kind of agent fighting in the Ukraine, and this murdering on set is the this older story is the cause for this murder, and so on. You can't imagine a better story.
So James Bond, that's nice.
Yeah.
But James Bond is dead now, so it's
They castrated him. I think it's medical disinformation. They don't castrate it. Daniel Craig, I'm sorry. No, he still has his balls.
I don't know if he had one, so.
Bond boys.
Okay.
Bond's boys.
It's okay. Now we get into crap. We should stop.
Yeah, but if I think we talked about in the past, if a party, it doesn't matter if it's a leftist or a right wing or a conservative or a socialist party, it doesn't matter which kind of party it is. If they lose their track, their direction, and have no goals, they don't like to say, in 10 years, I like that Germany is like that and that, or Austria or Switzerland is like that and that. In that, if there's no plan, no leadership.
There is a plan in the leadership, don't you worry.
No.
Of course. There are a few which they have the reins from behind, And even behind them, there are the reptiloids, and they control them, and sometimes they shapeshift and you see it in their eyes. But it's okay. It's a topic for another thing.
No, it's a very natural thing. There's no big plan behind. You know why? Because think about, if you're a politician and you can shove away some responsibility to the EU, because you got the same pay.
We had this on this level, you are right, but you need to, when you think about the pyramid and you are now on level 25 and they tell you this is the highest.
Yes, but it's a honey trap.
You don't know that there are 100 levels above it, and you don't even know what 2 levels above you do, because you only get
but it's a kind of natural honey trap, honeypot, because if you're a politician like that, and as I say, you can give away some responsibility to the EU. You can say to your citizens, yes, I would have made it different, but the EU. So, and then you can shove away some responsibility to the experts and to the virologists and to the.
Exactly the way they do it, because they make it easy for the politician. Look, we take away all the weight of your shoulder. You are not responsible for anything, let's blame the EU or let's blame the WHO or whatever, you can't grab them, but you stand here in front of the people, but you do what we say. And
but that's how people are, and that's why communism don't work and so on, because if everyone was just a rational and a good person, oh no, I don't like to get some €1,000 more per month. No, I know, I'm just working for the community. That's not true.
Of course not.
And if they say to a virologist, to an astrologist, they say, look, if you get into our chair circle, into our kind of committee, and you telling the politicians what's going on with the stars and with the zodiac and so on, and you will get €4,000 a month, then you would do, of course.
Of course. But
Not
that's
weird.
why people
Not
are so
weird.
easy to
Yeah,
control.
because it's like
That's why this fascist totalitarian state works so nice now, because the people are, you can buy them, and the few like
you don't need to buy them. You buy them by giving them a job, and
it's you bought them still, you give them something.
from today to tomorrow, he's an important person.
Yeah.
He's every week he's on a television, on a discussion board,
Then you just
and
get
everybody
your-
knows he was for 30 years he was in a basement
Yeah.
looking through his microscope, and
Now
nobody
he
knew
does
him.
selfies, now he does selfies with the
Oh,
superstars. Yes, of
He
course.
wears a tie, and
Mhm.
everybody knows him, and he
Easy,
gets
yes.
additionally that 4,000 euros a month.
Yeah, exactly.
So not every person is a saint.
No, but five leaders in
So it's
Africa
hard
are
to judge.
different.
It's hard to judge them, because these are not evil people in that
Nobody said
sense.
that. I didn't say that the single politician is evil. Even Angela Merkel is only a string puppet, an ugly one.
I think
So-
nobody is really evil, but everyone has his
Yes.
kind of path and has
No,
his
some people are
only
really
lives
evil.
once.
Go up in the hierarchy. Up there are really
The
evil.
Satanists. I know the Satanists.
Yeah.
Some poor guys from India fact checking
Yeah.
then our podcast. Oh, it's not true. There are no reptiloids. No, what are you saying, Raja?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know.
And my
Think about
English
that.
is not as good.
I like my chicken Bombay. I don't know. I eat without rice.
To talk about virus.
Walrus. Yes, walrus is this animal with the teeth. Walrus is this animal with the teeth.
Of course, we're always are talking about virus.
Walrus, of course, walrus. It has this nice hair.
Walrus.
And
Yeah,
you know how dangerous viruses are.
Yeah.
Walruses can be very dangerous.
They're
And
very
they-
big
And
teeth.
when two different walruses copulate, then you get another strain, so to say, from the
Yeah,
alpha
yeah.
and the beta walrus, and then they create a delta walrus. You need to be very careful with these walruses.
Yep. They're just
I
mutations
didn't-
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't study biology, but I know that these walruses have something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if everything is true what you're saying. I mean, I have to consult my virusist. These are virus experts. They know everything about viruses.
Yes.
And
fine.
the virus are also not dangerous because of their big teeth. They are also melting the ice
Yes, of course.
because
They
they
will slide around on the ice.
yes, and copulate on the
Yeah.
ice, so
Yeah,
the virus ladies get hot,
exactly.
and all the ice is melting. The
And
sea
the
res-
The whole global warming comes from this. Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
the sea level is rising
Yeah.
because of this. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're causing tsunamis because these ice shells start to warm around in the water. So there's nothing more dangerous than a walrus.
And imagine then there comes the super walrus around the corner. Germany
Yes.
already announced
And
that
and
we have
that
a super
no,
walrus.
yes, and there were
But
no
you can't do anything against it.
air, how is it called? Vaccine archery would help.
No, nothing would help. Because a normal virus you can shoot, with some special. But
Yeah.
with the super virus, you can't do anything.
And if the government says you have to shoot the viruses,
Yes. Yeah, because there are too many. Imagine everywhere is a virus. You're
because
not safe anymore.
you're responsible for your neighbor. If he
Yes.
gets the virus
Yeah.
in his garden,
Was is Walrus auf Englisch? Englisch.
I don't
Walrus.
know.
virus,
Yeah.
Walrus, I don't know.
virus.
Sea
Not the
dog.
same virus with one S.
Or walrus, I think so.
Virus with a U.
Walrus,
Virus.
yeah. Walrus.
Yeah.
I think so.
But I never heard that these viruses are also around in China. So some people say the walruses come from China, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, but China makes now everything, so why not walruses, you know?
Walrus soup.
Every country here gave up production of everything and everybody buys from China. So of course they make everything. And why not? They can copy a walrus.
You see what is on the US flag? US flag, made in China.
Yeah.
No, we're
So in
talking.
10,000 years,
True.
when the archaeologists come to Europe and say, made in China, made in China. Oh, here, Europe, it was China.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
These walruses, yeah. Mm.
But you know, that's the same like it was in the old Roman Empire. When everything gets too pervert, too grown up, too blown up to a big bubble on the banks and on the currencies and on the markets, on the Wall Street and everywhere, then you know it happens because you have your slaves working for you, you have other soldiers fighting for you. Not the Romans fought their battles anymore, but mercenaries and so on. And only the slaves did the work all day long. And you just thought about, oh, what should I do tomorrow? Oh, is there a walrus around or something? So you get mad, you know.
Yeah, but the more crazy it gets, and these are all signs that the system is collapsing. I mean,
Yes,
what happened to Rome?
Rome
They
still,
went overboard and then, you know, they destroyed themselves.
Yeah, because these fat Romans, you know, in their orgies and palaces and so, they just sat around and they have never seen a drop of blood except in the circus, like we see it in cinema or in the television. They never smelled blood in reality. They never had any danger to face. Everything was nice and beautiful.
Rome still run things. Rome is still in control. Rome. I mean,
of course, Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So
we should send we should get some walruses and send them to Rome.
But this is just a different kind of conspiracy that Rome is responsible for.
It's now in Washington.
There's the Club of Rome and the Vatican. They are quite busy and quite engaged in this.
And you see the symbols. This bird. This is the griffin. Galleon is the same thing.
Yeah.
Like example, Portugal is door to Galleon.
Yeah.
And they still run.
And you know, it's the same. It's hard to have no conspiracy because when you have ever seen in the Vatican that snakehead-shaped building and that horrible, how is it, work of art in the background, at the back behind the Pope,
the Alfa Romeo snake who eats children.
You think, oh man, and that's something with Christ and the church, and so it's hard to have no conspiracies if you see this stuff.
If you see, if you have eyes,
and there were, of course, conspiracies because the Jesuits had a lot of conspiracies all around the world. That's true. That's history. That's not a conspiracy.
And you see on every picture of these big soldiers from every country, you see the cross of Maltese. I talked to very proud Kosaken. This is our leader, and said, but watch this cross. Every soldier has this big soldier has this cross. They are working all together.
But Martin, if I'm right, this is true all around the world because the cross symbol is used, I think, in any place around the world. Even
pyramids. When you put the pyramid down, you became the cross.
Now think about that iron cross and so on. It's all the same shape.
All the same.
That how is it called? That medals of honor and so on. These are all with kind of cross. Victoria Cross, is a very high-ranking military medal in in the UK.
Yeah. A lot to come.
Napoleon, this Austrian guy, which we don't have to mention the name, this Russian guy, everyone wear the cross.
Yeah, but there are more explanation to this, no? Because you can say it's a very old, very common symbol around the world, so it's not, don't have to surprise you if it's widely used.
And He-Man from Masters of the Universe have the same cross, and Christopher Columbus on the flag has this cross.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Especially
People
the
can't see.
Maltese cross,
But you also could say the same thing about a circle or about a triangle. You know, it's true with all of these symbols.
It's a triangle, yeah.
Yeah, like on the dollar note, but we don't go into this.
We really must talk non-public about this.
But of course, that's no secret that Washington D.C. or the city of Washington, where these monuments and this Masonic stuff is, this were Masonics, and that's officially. And all the founding fathers of the United States, George Washington, and so on, there are even pictures with the Masonic. You know, that how is it called? What you pinned around your hip?
I don't know the name.
I don't know. And Masonic symbols and so on. So that's no secret, and that, and you know, in that days, the Masonics were also involved in the French Revolution. So these were new ideas, and I'm sure that the founders of the United States, they like to do good because it's a very nice constitution they have. You have to say, because there you have a Second Amendment. There you have real free speech. Not like in our countries where is free speech except. It's not true in the United States. As long as you not call for violence against a particular person or group, you can say everything. And that's not true in our countries. And the Second Amendment is the next thing. So these guys were not bad guys making this nice constitution. And of course, they put in their Masonic symbolism in the seal of the state and so on. No question about that. You know, so they did a good thing with a good goals. And the people in the United States are still the most free people on earth. That's true. On your country, you're king there. No policeman can walk onto your property until he has from a judge a warrant. You can send him out of your property by gun barrel. And so they are free. And so I don't know about the Freemasons, how bad they are.
I think it always depends. I mean, even Ron Hubbard, you know, the inventor of Scientology, his ideas in the beginning were not bad and were pro people. But then over time, and then all his disciples and whatever, they turned it into something in a mechanism to control people.
Yeah, and Earl Ron Hubbard was connected to that Jack Parson, who was that crazy guy who invented the rocket fuel. And this guy was the representative of Aleister Crowley, the big guru of the OTO, Ordo Templis, I don't know. So these all were friends. Imagine that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Even Aleister Crowley was not a bad guy.
I'm not sure. A crazy guy he was for sure.
A crazy guy. But crazy doesn't mean bad.
Who fucked goats and sheep and everything.
What they tell you don't know, it can be propaganda.
Maybe, yeah. We can't ask.
We still tend to believe what we want to believe of all these stories.
There are not any goats alive today, I think.
I mean, then we need to believe that Tesla was a crazy guy when he loved only his pigeons, you know?
You know what I think about Tesla?
Hmm?
You know what I think about
Martin.
Tesla? The Tesla
Before
was,
Martin falls asleep, yes, please. He's
Hmm?
tired. Before you fall asleep, yes.
No, I listen.
you know what? I read some biographies and I thought about it and so, and for usually I read a lot of biographies also about magicians and so on.
Mhm.
And you know, Tesla, in my opinion, was partly also a charlatan.
Mhm.
He invented some amazing stuff and was a kind of genius, but not a lot of his ideas turned out, or he worked as long on them to bring them to complete marketing status or so. Because I know that this guy who was this newspaper guy, I don't remember his name, a millionaire who financed all this laboratory he had in Little Rock, Colorado, or somewhere on a mountain where he had a big antenna for the, for the flashes and so on. And that guy invested a lot of money in Tesla.
Mhm.
And Tesla always reported to him what the plans are and how is the ongoing of the development of that free energy stuff and so on. But in fact, Tesla did different science or different things than he told his financier. And that's because one day that rich guy said, okay, quit, go away. You costed me millions of dollars with your shit, and you're doing an absolute other things that we agreed upon, and so on. And he was also a showman, for sure. If you imagine that Edison and him killed animals with power, electric power, so they could prove that the AC is more dangerous or the DC is more dangerous. I don't know. They killed horses, they killed dogs, cats, rabbits. These were crazy guys and also showmen, but because it was also a big propaganda program. Which investor will get the most money if they're making that kind of electric power or that kind, and so on. And
Tesla was not commercial, and I guess he has some old knowledge, and
he was crazy too. I think he was afraid about also walruses and everything. I think he lived in a hotel then, like that.
But the line between genius and crazy is very fine.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes you step maybe a little over, but you're still.
But he had an idea, but he didn't stay on track to finish the idea. So
there are so many people that do 80% and just before the finish because they have whatever self-esteem problems, then they don't finish it. They don't go the last mile. There are so many people, so many inventions.
So many women. They do this.
Are not satisfied because of that. Yes.
They interrupt before it's
finished too early. Yes.
Because they're not open. They're not open to it.
Yeah, or the guys are simply not so knowledgeable enough to do it properly.
Or they are not so knowledgeable. Everything can be true.
Well, it always depends. A woman is like a violin. You only need to know how to play.
So is there, because it's fun. So Martin, one last question: is there any special conspiracy theory in Switzerland? Some insider conspiracy from Switzerland we don't know about.
Yeah, everyone knows about William Tell with the apple.
Yeah.
And once I was hiking in the mountains near to Einsiedeln, which Switzerland is going big, and the people there tell me, over here and over there in the mountains are Goldlöcher, in English, gold holes. and only the Venetian Templars have access to this place. If farmers go there, this was 500, 600, 700 years ago. That story. If farmers goes there, dragon come and eats the farmers. And I was thinking, Einsiedeln, that's temple Einsiedeln, has many symbols. Einsiedeln means einsiedeln in a country, not living alone. And they have Arabic horses there, Black Madonna. So Switzerland was not created by Swiss farmers who fight against the Habsburg. It was created by Venetian Templars. Yes, they want to have the control over the Gotthard. And
I heard about that. I know that story.
Really? Yeah.
And they said because the Templars were the first bankers, they invented the banking system all around.
And you see near to Einsiedeln, you see the flag, the same flag like the three lions, and which is the lion with the big the Sphinx, and the Markuslöwe in Venezia. As you see here in Switzerland, is symbolic so often, and I ask myself why the people didn't see it. Anywhere you have two lions or two lions with the.
On the other hand, it's a good example. Every one of the two stories. I said, on the other hand, it's a good example. Every one of the two stories is that Wilhelm Tell story is a nice story.
It's a fable.
Yeah, and the other story about the Templar Knights is also a wonderful story.
but you can prove
in fact, it doesn't matter if it's dead around. It doesn't matter. But it's interesting, and yes, and it's an alternative thing, and it can be true. I'm sure the Tell story is not true.
It's not true.
I tend more that definition.
It's from Schiller. From Schiller.
Yes, it's a wonderful story, but I don't think it's historically true. And and that there are connections, and there's still a special status with banking, and during all the wars in time, Switzerland stayed
never invaded. Nobody invaded. Yes, of course.
And the mountain folk, the
German, and they have a special, of course, connection to Rome. But Rome destroyed the Templar Knights order, but who knows? Maybe this was fake news with some real life victims. They captured it and say, "Oh, look, the Templars are down." You never know. Everything you possibly can think of could be true, because the world is crazy.
No, but we have still a lot of Templar Knights here, so they still exist. And they are active.
It's the same story with the pharaohs. The pharaohs diving into the Mar. Oh, my English. But they're diving into the Mar of the people, and the Templars do the same. They're diving into the Mar of the people. They disappear, but they're still here.
Exactly.
It's interesting the connection now, and there are a lot of kind of cults, I'd say, with the Freemasons. It's one special branch. I think that Egyptian order of Freemasons or something, I don't know.
They're coming from the north.
They connect themselves to the Templars, so they are the inheritance of the ideas of the Templars, because the Templars connected that Eastern wisdom with the Western, more churchy wisdom, and so they were kind of genius, because they had a very wide view on the world and what be good and what be bad and so on. So interesting.
All these mummies, all these Egyptian pharaohs have red and blonde hair.
Yeah.
There's also Vikings, actually.
There's also a very nice documentary from a lady from, I think, New Zealand. I have to check her out, her name, but if you put in blonde hair Pacific people or something like that. You will find her. She did research in Hawaii, in all that Pacific islands, on Tahiti and everywhere. And every there are blonde people with blue eyes. And then she compares them to Irish people and red hair and so on, all over this. And in most cases, these islands are were invaded some 10,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. So the native community was wiped out totally. So then they got more like Asians or so. And she connects this back to Ireland somehow. Very interesting.
Ireland, they in their dialect they say irons. If you hear the word Africa, you take out the F and the C, you have the word aria, and bulk aria, hung aria, tart aria. They left it in the names. And how we get
Rot aria.
Rot aria, genau. And how we people, we white people, we're Weißen, bekommen weiß. We were in the isolation. We stuck in the ice for years, and like the polar bear, the polar wolf, we get white. And you hear white.
We were able to survive under the baddest conditions all around the world. We were not in the Garden Eden, just plucking fruits from a tree and taking honey from the
hardcore survival. And we have to talk with each other, and because we missed the Jahreszeit, we found new games.
And you have to fight.
My English is bad.
You have to fight for firewood, for food, for everything. You have to grow you have not too good earth, grounds. You have to grow food and so on. Half the year the ground is frozen. You can't do anything. And so what you want.
This is how we inverted the time. The people in Africa doesn't care about time. But we have igloos with one hole and the sunshine in, and the mother has to remove always the baby to the sun. This is how we
So what you like to tell us is bad conditions are also bad for the time.
Maybe.
Yes.
There's more to it, but it would be now a bit too much because we are now 2.5 hours.
I must go say hello.
Okay.
Okay, thanks
for joining. We invite you simply again if you want, if you liked it, and then you can tell us about your whatever competitions and how everything is going further in Switzerland and how your speed shooting is doing and whatever.
Ja, das machen wir doch so.
Das machen wir so.
Genau.
Das freut mich.
Genau.
Exactly.
Grüezi miteinander. Ja.
Grüezi miteinander.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. Grüß euch.
The other word I know is Trigloid.
Yeah.
When you cheat someone, then they say Trigloid.
Trigloid.
I got you, like.
Genau. Adi Trigloid.
Trigloid. But then I'm done with my. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Martin.
Pleasure to have
you.
Thank you for watching, for subscribing, and please don't report us again to this police because don't need that. Okay?
Yes, because it's satire and comedy.
We only do comedy. It's a comedy channel, just in case you didn't realize.
Archery comedy channel.
Exactly. Yeah. Archery is the native comedy of all countries. Thank you very much.